Hey everybody, Mike Pfeiffer. I've already started and I'm pretty far into the project, but I decided that I should do an install video on a Chinese backup camera combination on a 2010 Tundra. This would apply to 2007 through 13, I believe. But let me show you the camera and what I bought, and then I'll show you how I tested it, and then I'll show you how I'm installing it. Okay, this is the camera I got from China. Here is the mirror, which appears to be pretty good quality actually. I'm pretty impressed. And it just clips to your existing mirror, and then of course your wiring would go up, and I'm hoping to attach the power to the dome lights. To test it out, I happen to have a couple of 12-volt wall wart transformers. I know not everybody's got one, but anyway, I hooked it all up and tested it. And it comes with a bunch of cable and stuff that you don't need. And this long one right here is one of them. And I think this cable was designed to go from end to end in the truck. However, this camera and mirror are wireless, and there is the little wireless unit for the mirror. The camera that I got was the little round camera that you can mount in just about anything. I also bought a Tundra rear tailgate handle, made in Taiwan, of course, but with the bump for the camera. And I'm going to take you out to the truck and show you how that turned out. The problem being here is that there's no instructions really. This is a hardwired instruction, not a wireless instruction, but there's nothing telling you how to hook the little round camera and the power, and there were several different cables. But anyway, I'll show you what I came up with. Okay, here's the camera on the outside, and this is my Taiwan handle, which works extremely well actually and fit perfectly. The camera kit comes with a hole saw, and all I did was just ream this hole out with the hole saw so this camera would fit in there. It also has an adjustable aperture here that I haven't tightened down yet until I see where it's gonna show. But let me show you the inside and how I had to mount it in there. Okay, right here you can see that it snapped into the hole. I had to do a little bit of trimming on the outside to get it to fit properly in the hole. And then this black product that's around there is I believe it's a JB weld, plastic weld material. You could use anything, you could use silicone, anything, just to be sure it doesn't pop out of there. This stuff here is like a liquid plastic material or epoxy, and it gets extremely hard. There's no way that camera is going to fall out of there. It has a lock ring around the outside edge. Maybe you can see the little bitty lock ring right here. You loosen up that lock ring, and then you turn these two holes right here. You tighten those up to when you get the aperture adjusted where you want it, or the field of view adjusted where you want it. Then you put that ring on there and tighten it down, and that keeps all of that in place. That's how you adjust that. Now, my wiring is pretty basic. It comes out of there, goes around and into the wireless unit, which I just tie wrapped here to this bracket or brace. Then the wiring just plugs in, a yellow and a red to a yellow and a red. The camera goes to the RCA jack, and then the RCA jack goes to the wireless unit. Out of the wireless unit, you have just a single wire. Well, it's actually two wires in a single sheath. I put those inside of a corrugated wire loom, and I had to use this little piece of wire to feed it through and get it out the bottom of the tailgate. It'll come out there and go through there, and eventually go underneath and up through here to the reverse light wires. And as everybody else who's done one of these videos has said, there's a plug down there for a backup camera, but I, like everyone else, could not get any voltage there, and I assume that's because something is missing either in the, well, up where the console is, where the mirror would attach in, or something is missing in the fuse box or whatever. But to me, it was just as easy to come up here just like everybody else and tie on to the reverse light here. And this little wire, you can't see it, I have it all taped up at the moment, but it's just a black and a red wire here on the end of this wire. They're going to tie into the black and red here. That's going to be pretty simple. I'll show you that when I get that far. And by the way, I think I don't know if I mentioned or not, but here is the handle I got, made in Taiwan, sold by AM Auto Parts. I have had extremely good luck with AM Auto Parts on eBay. I would highly recommend checking these guys out. They've been very accommodating. I ordered the wrong handle first. I ordered it for 13 and up, which has a different contour. And they took it back, no problem. I ordered this one. They refunded me the money on the other one, and everything was hunky-dory. But I've ordered other stuff from them, a good company. So this was the combo. The mirror with the small round camera that you saw, and the handle. That's all it took. And I don't remember what it was, but I think it was under $100. So let's get this thing hooked up and show you what I'm doing. Okay, here is obviously the tailgate. I'm trying to stay out of the light. Here's where I came out. There's where I went through. No interference when you close the tailgate. Now I'll go down and show you what I did on the underside. Okay, this white plug is supposed to be the plug that has the reverse light in it. However, this is where I couldn't get anything, as everyone else did. I also broke it off of its little mount here. So we're going to tie wrap my wire and that wire back up with a twist tie, just so it doesn't dangle. Then it comes around, and if I can get the sun out of my eye, it comes around and it's going to go up through that hole there to the tail light. Okay, once I got the wire pulled through there, you can see that there was just barely enough wire on the transmitter from the back here to reach the wire here. So we're going to see if we can get that hooked up, and I'll show you that the backup light, the backup transmitter comes on. Okay, the truck is running. I've got some blocks under the wheels. You can see that the reverse light is on. You can hopefully see that the red is twisted temporarily to the red and the black to the black. I hope you can see that. This right here is the line that goes to the transmitter from the camera. Now let's step over here and I will shade this, because now you can see that the light is on the transmitter, so it's transmitting to the mirror. And just for kicks and giggles, let's go in the garage and plug the camera in and see if it's getting all the way to the camera. Okay, there's the truck out there running. If I come around, there is the picture that we're seeing of the tailgate down. Tailgate's laying flat. Of course, that's the license plate and that's the hitch. But you can see that it is transmitting to the camera, plugged into a 12-volt transformer, and the receiver is lit. So everything works. And on this receiver, this was kind of the goofy part. Here's my 12-volt wire coming from the receiver hooked to a black and another black. But anyway, going to the up to the transformer here. Then I have another black and another red wire that go to a red socket which supplies power to the camera. So you have power going to the transmitter through the 12 volts here, and you have to have another 12-volt wire that comes around here and plugs into the back of the camera here. So when I get in there, I have to make two connections, just like I have two connections right there. inside the truck at the dome light, and hopefully that will light the camera. The camera clips to my existing mirror, and I will have backup camera. And then, by the way, that picture is a little bit blue because I still have the little blue protectant over the top of the camera. But we'll check it out when the whole thing's installed. Okay, the truck is off, and I believe that you can see that it's in park, so you can see that the transmitter is off. Now I've got these, as I showed you here, I have these wires temporarily twisted here. I have my soldering iron going because I'm fanatical about soldering. I'm going to solder those up, and then I'm going to use liquid tape on those and then tape them up with regular tape. Okay, I've got the wires soldered in, got them all taped up and everything, have the light back in position. I think I forgot to mention the tail light comes off by a star-headed bolt, or Torx if you prefer, up here at the top, and one right here. And when you get it loose, it has a pin right in here and a pin right about there inside that pop into a small rubber grommet. So basically, once you get that loose, you pull this out at an angle like so. You get your fingers in here and just pop that out. That's how you get the lens off, so you can go in there and do the wiring. And I believe that we've got everything done back here when I put these screws back in for now, until I have to put this cover back on, which also has the same size Torx head bolts. But I'm not going to do that until I get the camera adjusted and make sure it works. Okay, everybody, this happens to be a 2010 Tundra. It does have an overhead console. It's an SR5, so there's nothing but 200 holders for sunglasses in here. I don't know who wears that many sunglasses, but there's literally nothing in any of these compartments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and run the wire up underneath the, well, I'm going to try and get underneath the headliner, but I don't know if I will or not. I'm going to try and feed it with the little piece of wire that I had. See if I can get up into here. I may have to take this down. In fact, I'm probably pretty sure I'm going to have to take it down. Anyway, to get to the wiring where, these lights are connected in, because the key is off right now, and the door is open, and you can see that those lights are on, but if I close the door, they will fade out, I hope, here. Well, let's speed this up and turn the key on. Okay, so the key is on. Now the key is off, and you can see that the lights came back on because they're not, they haven't faded yet. But anyway, you get the idea. There's power there all the time, which is what we want for the camera, because the camera only picks up when the rear end is transmitting. Now you can see that they've gone off. The key is off, and you can see that I have power there. So we're going to try and tap into that, and I hope it's not too complicated. Okay, in the front of the console up here, you can see that there's 2 Torx screws there, whoops, there, 2 here. I don't see any in the 2 big sunglass holders, and there's 2, one right there, and one right, well, where are you? Take my word for it, it's in that corner. But anyway, we're going to take those, at least the 4 front ones out here, see if I can drop the end of the console down and get to the wiring. By the way, as long as I'm at it, the Torx bit that you need up here in the front is a T15, and the one for the tailgate, all the stuff on the tailgate and the tail light, is T27. Okay, I did have to take the 6 Torx head screws out, and you can see where they go, here and here. There is a lot of space right in here. I think I can put all the gear in there with double-sided tape or something of that nature. When you pull the headliner down, or the console down, it has these tabs here that kind of hold it to the edge here of the headliner. and when you let it drop like I did, it tears the little thing that holds this clip right here. Didn't damage the clip or anything, but the little holder that it's mounted on suffered a little bit, but it's okay. And if it broke, it would be no big deal. But I unplugged the plug, it's hanging here. I'm gonna check to see which wires are hot, going to the circuit board here that lights up the lights. There's gotta be a hot wire there somewhere. You can also see, let me see if I can get a light on it. You can also see, right back in there, you can see a hole through there where you can see the windshield. If I pull down on this, hang on one second. If I pull down on it up here on this front edge, you can see that I can bend the whole headliner down. That's how I got these RCAs through there. And here is my wire coming from the mirror. Not too obnoxious looking, and the mirror actually looks pretty good and actually fits over the existing mirror very well. I'm pretty pleased. So I'm going to continue on with this. Like I say, I'm going to find the wires here. I'm going to solder these two sets of wires, which go to the receiver and to that plug down there, which takes the power to the camera, as I had stated before. And then I'm going to have a lot of extra wire and stuff, plus the receiver, which I think I'm going to be able to put right up in here. We'll find out, and stay tuned. Okay, as I showed you, I got my wire through. My RCA connectors are hanging here. They come down to my receiver, which now has power. It is connected to the dome light circuit, and instead of soldering wire anywhere else, I just soldered right on to these brass strips. On this panel right here, and I will anchor these wires down, and I will put a little bit of tape over the top of that just so they don't short, because in the process of testing those for positive and negative, I shorted these two circuits by accident and popped the 7.5 circuit breaker or fuse. And while I'm thinking about it, if you do this, let me go show you where that's at. Okay, under the hood, your 7.5 breaker for your dome light is that one right there where my fingernail is, the 7.5. So if you happen to blow that, it takes a 7.5 low profile, and there are no extras in this box. There's extras of others, but not those. The fuse puller is right there. I had to make a trip over to AutoZone and get some 7.5 LP fuses, but I put it in, and as you can see in there, I'm good to go. I'm going to wrap all this up, and I'll take a video of where I mount. I'll try to take a video of where I mount that receiver and what I'm going to do with all that wire, and then I'll show you how it all works. Okay, what I did is my extra RCA here, I just taped up. I guess it's for sound probably, but it has no sound. The power, I taped around the two plugs to make sure they don't come apart. Taped this to this. Gathered up all my extra wire right here. It'll go back in this hole right here when I put the overhead back in. Tape the other RCA together so it does not come apart. It'll just lay across there like so. And as you can see, double-sided taped the receiver up there in the roof. So now it's all going to go back together, and we'll see how she works. Okay guys, there's kind of a glare in here. However, you can see that I can see the hitch, and I am on the slope of the driveway, so that's all I see is the driveway. But I only plan on using it to hook up the trailer, but it may benefit, you know, when it's on the level, it'll probably see out further. But that's as well as I can get that camera adjusted, but it looks pretty good to me. I got all this back up. It was kind of a bear getting the screws to line up to the holes You got to put them in loosely and then tighten them all later. All the wire fit up in there, no problem. And as you can see, for way under $100, I've got a backup camera. And we'll take a look at the back, and that'll be it. Okay, after the camera was aligned, which kind of was a bear, I had gotten some glue on the threads of that, so I had to take the latch off and get it off of there, and then getting it lined up straight, and then tightening the inner part, and then tightening the ring was kind of a pain in the neck while it was on. I kept having to open and close the tailgate, but other than that, everything worked well. There's how it is. I'm going to button it up, and I hope you guys enjoyed this.